Hi, it's Samuel Larsen here, and I'm going to show you a very cool way on if you are doing a conversion optimization process, what is the process that you should follow and how to get those easy, high efficiency wins in the beginning. So there is this concept of conversion rate optimization pyramid, and I'm going to share it with you. So the idea is very similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where you need to take care of the base needs first, and those are usually easier to achieve. So similarly to if we cannot breathe, we don't really care about fulfilling our aspirations, we just want to breathe. So the same concept applies here. And only when the base needs are met can we actually move to the next level and address the next needs. So what to focus on first is the question. And the first focus in making better websites should always be the functionality. So functionality is the first priority, and we kind of like optimize from the bottom up in this pyramid. So make sure always that the previous step is correctly handled before you move on to the next one. So the potential impact is always the biggest on these lower level tasks and lower level pyramid levels, because these are the easiest fixes and these are the easiest gains. Because if people cannot really use the site, it doesn't function, it doesn't really benefit for us to make the site very persuasive yet. So always take care of the bottom layers first and then move over into the next step. Now functionality, what does that even mean? So you want to ask the question, does it work the way it's supposed to work? So basically you could ask, does it function? So first and foremost, it needs to be free of technical errors. So if it doesn't work on certain devices, there's something wrong with it, then those people cannot even access your site. And then all the other things don't matter. So it needs to work on all devices, needs to be functional with all screen sizes, etc. And here, quality assurance testing is an absolute must. So you need to check it on every browser, cross-browser testing it, and make sure that you leave absolutely no stone unturned. And the easiest, best way to do this is to just check your Google Analytics and see if there are device differences, if some pages are performing horribly, something in the data that is not the way it's supposed to be. It's just way off the mark. And that can give you an idea of something not working the way it's supposed to work. So you want to fix that. So check your Google Analytics for more information, get good at that. Second part, is it accessible? And these two are a bit nerdy, so the technical parts need to be taken care of first before you can move to the fun marketing stuff. So can people use the site even if they're not very technical? So we want to assume our users are kind of like dumb with computers, not very experienced with the internet, because we can use the site like ninjas. We've been on it like a million times, but for a first-time user, it's always a very different thing. So are there any barriers to people using your website? Is everything really clear on how to use it? For example, do our links look like links? If we have buttons, do they look like buttons? Or do they look like just banners or something? We want to make sure that people understand it's clickable, right? So this is very easy wins again, because you can just take a look at it and see that this probably should be different. And we want to make all of our text easily readable and so on, and our layout should be logical and easily understandable as well. Now, the third thing, is it usable? So, meaning, is it user-friendly? And also, user-friendliness contains the question, is it fast enough? So, if your website takes a long time to load, you have a problem. So, you want to ask, can people use this site without thinking too much about it? Is it intuitive to use? Does it require a lot of figuring it out? Does it take a genius to use the site? Or can they just easily understand the language? Does it speak to them? And can people actually buy what they want? Is it easy to find? So it's obvious that you should fix this, of course. So the best way to really get to the root of this is to just have some usability tests. Get a couple of friends together, have them search a product and watch over their shoulder, for example. You will gain a lot of insight in a short period of time, and you don't need a massive sample size. You just need a few people, and you can already pick up some qualitative things from that. So very easy, and very easy wins as well. Now things are getting a little bit more difficult, but you want to ask on the first step, how intuitive is it for the user to use? So does the website really match the thought sequence of the user? So first of all, how does it perform the very first seconds that a user lands on the front page? I see horrible sliders everywhere that don't make any sense for the first time visitor, that are confusing as hell. And these things are pretty easy to fix, but in order to be really powerful, you need to understand the user's thought process in every step. And it's a little bit different for different niches. So remove all kind of friction. Answer customer questions and answer them ideally on the right time. So when they are asked, not before, not after. Okay, so this step is all about improving the flow of the visitors and improving the site experience and optimizing those aspects of it that keep the visitors from actually buying. And the best way really is to just get into their heads and understand these things deeply. And this kind of ties into the next layer a little bit, because for you to be persuasive on the fifth layer, the last top of the pyramid, you need to be intuitive as well. But it goes a little bit differently. It's not quite the same thing. So persuasive is all about copy matching the needs of the buyer and joining the conversation in their minds, and providing enough proof when proof is needed, and removing doubts when removing doubts is needed. So having those right elements in the right place, speaking in a way that the customer understands, speaking their language, and so on. So improving the persuasion on your site is mostly done by writing better copy. Better copy, some better images, some social proof, using these influence tactics that I'm talking about a lot on this channel as well. So you want to have that figured out last, but remember it's the top of the pyramid. So you should not be too concerned about this until you have gained those easy wins in the beginning. So don't start from this. There is a lot of things to do before this. But this is the fun stuff, in my opinion, and this is the stuff that requires a high-level thinking, a true expert to really go deep into the customer's mind. And there's a lot of this content on this channel, so make sure to subscribe, and you can see a lot of videos on this topic. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.